Hello again, Steve here, and today I just stopped on my way home from work, and I found this little park. I believe it's called Squirrel Park. It must be. Lots of memorials on this tree here. And over here, I just wanted to share with you a bunch of birdhouses. It's down by the river. It's pretty cool. You can see in the background here, the river's running pretty good. It's a lovely place to be. Anyway, I wanted to talk today on the Inner Project about using Joe Biden as an example of what not to be. Because a lot of times in life we want to be somebody, right? And we want to get things done. And I think it's important who we hang out with. Now, somebody told me recently, and he's kind of a Democrat kind of a person, and he was all worried that Joe Biden's going to sink his own campaign because somebody is making an allegation against him. Well, my response was, another somebody doesn't call him Sleepy Joe for nothing, which is a knockoff of Creepy Joe. And I told this person, I said, why would you be surprised that somebody would make an allegation against this guy? I mean, the particular allegation might be surprising, but an allegation of wrongdoing is not really surprising. And here is why. Because we become who we hang out with, right? And that organization, as far as I know, is very corrupt. It is full of very, very corrupt people. I even heard that the KKK come out of that organization. And they were not very nice people. So I think it's when we're striving to do something in life, who we hang out with is also what we're doing, right? So if you can choose more noble people, more virtuous people, we're going to become like that. More hardworking people, more honest people, more just forthright people who live by the example that they give. They do what they say, what their words and their actions match. For example, Joe Biden, my understanding is, he championed women's rights. And he was big on believe every woman. And at university campuses, all you need is the word of a woman. And it has to be taken absolutely seriously to the point where the man is guilty. Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So it's not surprising that if somebody hung out his entire life, adult life, he's been a politician in that group, in a very amoral, Nietzschean will to power kind of organization for that many years where the ends justify the means. Well, if you can get away with something, you get away with it. And back in the 90s and so on, I guess he could do whatever intern he wanted. And it's a different age now, isn't it? It's Me Too, and it's him who's championed all this sort of stuff. So this is a bit of a political rant, but not really, because it has to do with us learning from not only people who, like the personal God, right? Learning about virtue and about the ideal man. But it's also understanding and recognizing what happens when we don't do this. Some really bad things can happen. When we get involved with really bad people, we sort of become the devil we hang out with in a way, right? Because after a while, we're invested in that. And it's just, it's almost like beyond hope of ever getting out. And I think Joe Biden stands as an example for that. I mean, look at his son. I mean, addicted to cocaine and prostitutes and just unbelievably corrupt, with what was going on in the Ukraine. And people go, wow, how could that guy have so many problems? He lived in an ideal family and so on and so on. No, he didn't. He had Joe Biden as his dad, right? This sort of stuff doesn't come out of nowhere, right? So it's also a good example in terms of parenting, to be the example, to live the way we would want our kids to live. And maybe Joe Biden wants his kid to live that way. I would guess so. Hookers and blow and all kinds of corrupt money. That's sort of the deal, right? Isn't it? So, I don't know. It's, I think it's just an example. And we can see many examples. We can see examples of how to live a virtuous life and how to live a not so virtuous life. I remember this guy Osho years ago. Somebody asked him, who did he learn the most from? he said he learned the most from the village thief, a certain village thief, because he said this guy had a work ethic. He took risks every day and he went for it. He said he wasn't making the point that that's what he wanted to do, but he learned a skill. He learned something about work ethic from the village thief. So we can learn from everybody. It's just that we don't have to do that. And sometimes doing exactly the opposite, like George Costanza once said, especially when we're looking at a guy like Joe Biden, it's probably a good thing. Steve here again, great chatting. If you like what I'm doing, I know it's a broken record here, but like, subscribe, and share, and comment in the box below, and it's great chatting to you folks. Talk again soon. Bye for now.